Right now, let us turn our attention to the existing cast of characters under the Capitol Dome. Over in the House, 25th District Congressman Roger Williams is there. I have questions. Roger, welcome, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
Wonderful to have you. Thank you. And I hope everything's thawing out for you out there in Weatherford, and hope everything's good.
Well, it's going to be 51, so the mathematics tells you some of it'll go away.
That is good. What do you have to do with 500 cars in a car dealership parking lot when it's 10 degrees?
Well, you just watch them sit there, and that's the problem.
Yes.
Nobody comes in, right?
Sorry, that's so cold. You watch them sit there because ain't a lot of shopping going on, to be sure.
No, but people get out here shortly, but that's really what you do when you're in the retail business. Sometimes this doesn't help you.
That is it, indeed. Well, listen, anybody just sitting there under the Capitol Dome, you guys are busy. It's a busy week and things are going on. Let's talk about something that might be going on sooner rather than later. Are we staring down the barrel of another government shutdown? Are Democrats going to say we're going to shut down the government rather than give another dime to DHS while all of this ICE controversy rages?
Well, that's a great question. I don't think we're going to shut down. I mean, the fact of the matter is they don't want to fund this agency, and the problem is I think it was 70 billion got put in with the big beautiful bill, so they're funded in a large part to continue the wall and that sort of thing. So I think it's politically a disaster for them not to want to protect the homeland, but we'll see. But I have hope that we don't have a shutdown.
We haven't talked since just the last few days of all the attention to Minnesota, and we all want law enforcement to be done by the book with precision. Every shooting totally justifiable. It's not always going to be. Investigations will follow. But there's an effort to weaponize this to smear this is everything that's going on. All this anger, all this rage is not so much about the individual shootings. It's about the fact that we have people in Minnesota, in a deep blue state, joined by others in other states who just don't want immigration laws enforced at all.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, the whole thing was to go get, as President Trump said, and Homan and people said, we want you to do this. Go get the bad and the worst. And that's the mission, and we need to stay on the mission. But it's evident that in Minnesota that it's not Minnesotans. I think it's a lot of people coming in from other places that are, because you don't just carry gas masks around with you every day and have one ready to go. And I just think that there's a lot of things that we need to cool down. I think the fact that his press conference today was great. I think he said he was going to, of course, try to reach out to everybody. But the bottom line is, if you break the law and you're a bad guy, you got to go, and that mission is not going to go away. And if he's asking for Minnesota and the local law enforcement to work with him and get it done, like we have in all these other states. I mean, you've talked about this. Look at all the illegals we got here in Texas, but we get them and take them where they need to go back and do it without a lot of fanfare.
Thank you for bringing that up, because there's something that required some additional light to be shown. Yesterday, a gentleman called and said, all this focus on Minnesota, why don't we focus on Texas? We got a lot more illegals in Texas than they do in Minnesota. That's true. But we are also finding, rounding up, returning, deporting tons of illegals in Texas. You just don't hear about it so much because we don't have rioting. It's baked in. It's understood that we follow the law here.
Right. And you have local law enforcement doing what they do. They reinforce ICE. Everybody has a backup, and it works pretty smoothly. But the problem is these sanctuary cities, and he talked about that, they're illegal to begin with, but there's no help from law enforcement. I mean, if ICE gets threatened and they're on their own, they can't ask for help, and that's the big problem in Minnesota and Oregon and some of these other states, that the pecking order, you might want to say, is not working. It's broken down, but it hadn't in Texas, and it works.
Absolutely everything is geared toward November, obviously primary season in progress, which we all notice. And November 3rd is the election where we really must make progress in the midterms and keep the Senate and hopefully expand our margin there and expand our margin of majority in the House. Everything that helps us do that is good. Anything that impedes it is bad. Some of that involves strategy, no unforced error. flourish. But a lot of it is news, events on the ground, and the economy. So let me turn to your role as chairman of the House Small Business Committee. How's small business doing? And aren't they a wonderful barometer as spring turns to summer, turns to fall? As small business goes, so goes the economy.
Absolutely. I mean, 99% of the businesses, Mark, in Texas or in America are small businesses, and they generate, almost 3/4 of the payroll in the workforce. And I'm traveling all over the country as chairman of the committee. Small businesses excited. I mean, I'm going to tell you this, the big, beautiful bill has excited Main Street America. When now they know the tax cuts are permanent, that they know what they're going to pay if they make a profit. We reduced regulations sizably to community banks. Now they can loan money to small business for payrolls, et cetera. We got this 100% expensing, which allows big companies, little companies to buy equipment and expense it the year they buy it, not spread it out over 5 years. And then one big thing that has gone unnoticed, nobody really talks about it, is we increased the threshold of the inheritance tax from $15 to $30 million. So that allows people to keep their proverbial family farm and pass it on to the family. And all this puts cash in the system. And when you have cash in the system, entrepreneurs take it and they take a risk and they get reward. And it's called free markets and capitalism. We're the greatest asset of it. And now Trump's put these Trump accounts out there, and these kids, by the time they're 18, are going to have money in the bank, and they will have learned about capitalism. A lot of things should be taught in the schools are not getting taught in the schools. So now that Trump's going to take over and teach these kids about money, I think is fantastic.
How are small businesses affected by the sort of the feud between Trump and the Fed? The Fed refuses. No. It's like they're not giving him enough. It's like they're not giving our economy enough credit for being in a healing mode, seeing the green shoots, to use a Howard Garrett horticultural term, the optimism, things growing, things improving. How does that affect small business when interest rates remain high or remain fixed?
Well, it affects because you can't pay that much on note. Interest goes to notes. Goes to doesn't reduce the principal of a loan possibly, but interest rates are everything to a small business, and it's the biggest expense besides people that small businesses have. But I do think we're going to see. They met yesterday. We didn't see another cut. But I think you'll see another cut in the interest rates by June, which will be positive for Main Street. And the more they can pay on principal, the more money they can buy to employ people, to buy equipment and so forth, is going to be great. And I think we're looking at this year, near 2026 mark, is one of the best we've had in years. As I look back on my career, where things were set up to really go for Main Street America, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
Something just occurred to me as a last thing to ask. A lot of small businesses in Texas and in America are restaurants and bars and stuff. How's that no tax on tips going? And it's great for the individual, servers, waiters, waitresses, stuff like that. They love it. Should. If I'm a restaurant owner, how do I navigate that? What does that do to or for me?
Well, I think I've got some friends in the business that helps them get more employees. It lets their employees keep more money. I mean, that's the whole thing. They take more money home. If they have more money, they spend it. So the restaurateurs that I've talked to are fine with it because it helps their employees, and small businesses loyal to their employees. So no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, just puts more money in the system. I know in my business we have some overtime employees. They're going to make more money, and they've already got a way to spend it. I mean, that's what we do in America. So I think all that puts more money in the system. When you put more money in the hands of the people, it gets spent, it creates activity, it creates entrepreneurship, creates sales, and creates more taxpayers.
25th District Congressman Roger Williams, always a pleasure, sir. Best to you and yours. I know we'll be talking soon. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
God bless you, Mark. Thank you.
Betcha. That is Congressman Roger Williams.